lefty. I have a lefty too. I'm not, but I have one.
Oh, do you?
So do you strategically place yourself at a table? My daughter does.
Let's hope that this one's working okay.
All right. Use whatever hand I can.
So Jim, on those magnets for the petite meat,
Mhm.
I think they're metal, not just the.
Those are, yeah, just 20 mil.
Hey, Mayor, can you hear us?
The picture's not. one.
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, I'll go back to the drawing board.
Okay, thanks. I get it. I haven't seen one. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get a copy of,
How many are you looking for?
I don't know, a couple hundred probably.
Yeah.
So I get a price break. They were quoted like $6.95 or something each. Sell them for like 7, so it's like,
Well, that's
It's
not
not even worth it to do it.
yeah,
How's your Payson the City puzzles selling?
I don't know, Dave, how's it selling?
We've done pretty well. I mean, the library sells a lot.
So,
We did one on our family vacation.
Oh, you did?
It was to Oregon, set it up on the table. So
Awesome.
so does Petite Meat have puzzles to sell?
I think just the library.
The library and the golf course in here so far.
Of course.
Chris, I think Chris wants
I
some of
I
the.
would love to sell some.
Yeah, we just need to figure out how to get them into their stores.
Petite Meat on
Keep
stuff.
saying I need to look at the contract and I keep forgetting to look at it, and see what we
He
can
was,
do.
Derek was really nice. that day.
Did Brandon get on?
I sent the link.
Okay, I'm calling. Yeah.
Teresa.
Figure it out.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
there you are, thanks.
Oh,
No, the chamber, she took care of some things that we.
oh, you're talking to your team. Gotcha.
What other chambers?
Yeah, right.
Well, looks like I'm gonna be a little thin today.
Have to sit down and do it.
I know, you and.
Everybody stayed up too late for fireworks last night, so. So we'll get started here. We have a couple special guests here today. We have Councilwoman Hyatt and also Commissioner Gordon from the Utah County. So they'll be presenting some stuff to us today. So first of all, just welcome everybody here. And do we have has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes, and do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, got a motion second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Adventure Day. Any, I don't think we've talked about that since because we didn't have a meeting last month, so any comments, any thoughts, how that went? Any ideas how we can do better next year?
Great feedback. Everybody loved it.
Mhm. The variety of vendors was amazing. I thought that was one of the best things that happened. There's so many different types of businesses out there, and they all had great success. Costco they must have had over 100 names in their little drawing can. So they got a lot of good leads.
So I was down doing the cook-off thing. So how late did people kind of stay in the park and see vendors out?
Well, the storm kind of rolled in and that kind of
Yeah.
shut everything down. I think that was what, 2:30.
Yeah, that kind of pushed people.
Yeah, we quickly got our booths down just so wind started picking up. That was scary.
So if we have something in the main place, and then maybe vendors only for a few hours, because there's nothing, a lot going on, the vendors probably don't need to stay till 4 or
Yeah, I don't
5.
know how you're gonna draw that crowd there again without a puzzle reveal.
So there's gotta be something,
Yeah, there's gotta be something.
well,
big.
it's like we did before when we did the scavenger hunt and,
Mhm.
be something like that, bring them in.
Well, I've got an idea, so the idea is that they have a 60,000 piece puzzle. So we bought that. We were gonna do it at this thing, if Dowell didn't show up because he said he wasn't gonna be able to be there
Mm.
at one time. So I want to get with Guinness Book of Records, see if we can do the fastest putting 60,000 piece puzzle together.
Oh, there you
And
go.
they're all 1,000-piece sections. And I think that maybe on the pavilion and have a whole bunch of tables set up. I think we get a bunch of kids and stuff like that. Anyway, that's kind of the idea that I had. So if anybody has any other great ideas, that'd be great. But it's something you really need. So
It's out of the whole world, it is, isn't it?
it's the whole world. Yeah, yeah.
How
Any?
big would that be?
Oh, it's like 20 feet by 10, something like that. It's huge.
Wow.
The event is so dependent on the weather then,
It is.
that would be a little risque, I think.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. If the wind came up on your little park, you'd fly away.
That's right.
Probably
I was thinking more rain, but
You
you're right.
probably
the
need to do
winds
it
were-
in like the
in here
inside somewhere.
yeah, that's what I was thinking that, but then how to get people
to go.
to park?
To park.
Yeah. Maybe we could rent a tent, a big tent, like they have that.
It costs pretty big bucks for the Guinness, to get Guinness here too, right?
Yeah, probably, but. Well, Ty,
So I went to all of the different events to take pictures of it. And
Uh-huh.
so up in Forbay, it was kind of fun to listen to the people that were doing the guided tours on Forbay.
uh-huh,
So excited, we need to get the word out about this and stuff. And I think it's consistently doing it is gonna get the word out about those different things. Went to the horseback and they were pretty full.
that filled up immediately.
Yeah, which was fun. I mean, we watched them as they were just coming back from their little round trip. It was fun to watch. What a fun little, it's like, I want to do that.
Sign up next year.
Right?
Sign a fence.
So I think that there was a couple of the garage, is it the boat thing out in Spring Lake?
Oh, yeah,
That didn't happen though, right?
it did happen, yes.
It did happen,
Yeah,
because we got there and we didn't see any boats. didn't see-
Well, then only one group signed up, or about 3, and so it just happened right at the beginning. so,
Because Salem Pond has a huge one every year.
Right,
And so I think it's just a matter of getting people, this is what we do, and I think it'll be
right.
huge every year.
Yeah, I think one of the things that a lot of people didn't sign up, and we just gotta figure out a better way to get the message out there.
Are you still doing the scavenger hunt or is that?
Yeah, the scavenger hunt goes clear through till the Thursday before Hunting Days.
Oh, okay.
So let people know, I'm putting, hopefully something's coming out in the newspaper, Chronicle this Wednesday.
Yeah, starting to see more posts on the social.
Do you know how
media.
many are participating with that?
I don't know, Kendra, do you know how many signed up so
Like a
far?
handful, there's not a whole lot.
It's funny because we had 800 or 700
Oh,
or
the other
so,
one.
the other one. so I
This is
don't
the
know.
one to get in on it,
Can you
Yeah.
put it up on the board where it's for the city?
electric.
Yeah, it's probably the prize that got people asked.
Well, yeah, but still, there's some great prizes
Yeah,
for.
right.
No, there's good prizes, but
They're
the
really,
side by side was,
Yeah.
you look at
Huge.
people wanting to win that.
yeah.
Anyway, anything else about Adventure Day?
Did you talk about all the bikers that had to stop at the Wee Blue?
Oh, no, that wasn't part of it, but that.
That wasn't part of it, but I think it was pretty cool that
Yeah.
just added to it.
Yeah. So how many were there?
Bikers, like motorcycle bikers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
so the Wee Blues signed up, so they do this Utah ride from Orem to St. George, and there's very few stops, and the Wee Blue got selected as the lunchtime stop. You know,
Their
so-
food's good.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So lot of people from all over came. And I think it just kind of added to the ambiance, but I think there was 300,
Wow.
I think they were expecting 450.
450.
So it's a lot.
Wow.
So they'll do that again next year, you think?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
if they got selected.
It was just kind of a bonus, you
Yeah.
know?
But we need to reach out to things like that.
Yeah.
Like the cornhole, people didn't do the cornhole because they had a state tournament, so I'm asking, let's have your state tournament
Right,
Right.
in Payson
Payson.
on that day.
right.
Because then we
There
start
you
getting those
go.
things in there.
The football tournament went really well. We had think we had 9 teams. For the third group, the first 2 groups didn't pan out too well, but they had a blast. It went really well, and they enjoyed getting the swag. And
So I think that needs to go out way sooner because there's so many tournaments all over Utah that if you don't get them signed up at yours, they're gonna be somebody else.
yeah, it depends how professional you want to do it and how upper class, because those are the good players. So
Well, and you would put your good
Push it
ones
out.
with your newbies, but
yeah,
maybe you could have from like, 10 to 12 professional, 12 to 2
mhm,
mediate, intermediate, and then, or vice versa.
yeah,
But so that, because you don't want to play somebody that you know has been playing every week for the
yeah,
last
and
3
that's how we
years.
split them up. So that's a good idea. I think that definitely can attract a good crowd.
Oh, I
There
know
was
what
quite a
kind.
few spectators too, and surprising, mostly family, but they still came out and watched.
So how'd the car show go?
Car show was really good. They got a lot more cars than had originally signed up. Kat was down there taking pictures, and there's, I think, at least three food trucks, if not 4 food trucks there, and the bands were good. So
You think they want to do that again next year?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Good.
It looked pretty fun.
What was that?
The
car show.
Car show.
And the socks turned out great.
Yeah,
Everybody
they love
loves
the
those socks.
Yeah, winner. And they love their utensils too. Everyone loved the utensils.
That was different, wasn't it?
Yeah,
They're in my truck.
yeah, see?
I've had to
Everybody
use
used
them a
them.
few times.
Okay,
Brian, they do want, everyone asked me, I was wearing the t-shirt, Payson t-shirt and hat, and they all asked, where can I get those?
you know what, we ought to, besides selling puzzles, we ought to make some up and just be able to sell them. Get them out there and sell them.
Yeah, I thought just getting some online store can create I can create an online store. Can you?
We
make
should
it
be able
work?
to do it the city, right, Dave?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how. We checked with Spanish for, they just do it, they do it for their employees, but as far as selling to the public, I'm not sure.
Gotta look into that, but yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Why not get it out there? People
Yeah.
are gonna pay for it,
Yeah.
make a little money too, and
I've already got a hold of Payson Market. They'd love to just sell them for us.
Hmm.
good, good. So yeah, we'll work on that. So good idea. So, okay, so we have a golf event coming up. Gotta make sure I got the right date here. October 4th. So it is October 4th, yep. You know, it's really interesting because we changed it a little bit, so because outdoor recreation has usually the last weekend in September, so they can never come. So I looked it up on their website and it was scheduled and they changed it to this weekend.
Oh, no.
Of course.
Really?
Yeah. So we didn't need to change our date, so anyway, but it is on Wednesday, so I hope maybe I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, so if you need invitations, just try to get people here for that event. Commissioner Gordon, you have your invitation, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So anyway, we want that to be a good recruiting tool for the city. Yeah,
We only have 2 teams at the RSVP.
just win.
And then there was another one for your last sponsors. Jared?
South Haven Farms, they paid, so they're paid platinum 4,000.
Wow.
They're at the Cougar House at grand opening.
Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah, that was really good.
And then Impact Utah, they wanted two gold sponsors, and then Rustler, Stan Shaw, he agreed to 4,000 for the platinum. So those are the ones I've heard back from.
Okay, I'll mark them down.
So anyway, so yeah, it's that'll come up really quick. So we need to start getting the word out and fighting the businesses that we want to come. So so any business you think that might be beneficial for Payson, either by bringing employees or with a good sales tax base. So those are the ones we're looking for to invite. Okay. Commissioner Gordon, can you address us about what's going on with economic development in Utah County and how that could affect Payson?
Well, probably the most exciting thing that's happened since you and I last spoke, Brian, is that we joined up EDC Utah. We did a mid-year adjustment in our budget and put some money in there to re-up our membership with EDC, and so we're really excited about that. It's funny because you go back and some of my predecessors actually had sued EDC Utah because they felt like the performance wasn't there. And I always chuckle because, you know, I've been involved in the chamber all my business career, and it's like you get out what you put in, right? And it's so funny that, you know, some of our county leadership thought that we would just join and then all of a sudden see all of this magical, you know, stuff happening. And so it was pretty frustrating to have to work through a whole new contract, but we finally got it approved and done. And so I couldn't be happier with that membership that's going to be able to give us a lot more looks as a county. And we have the same membership as Salt Lake County. And we should, being as our growth and everything, all the excitement of things that are happening. So that was probably the first and biggest thing on my mind is that membership. And is Payson still a member of EDC?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what Scott had told me, and well, you told me that too, Brian. So excited that we're working together and collaborating in that group. We have our convention center. We just petitioned a group to go out and do a study to let us know what it would cost to expand the convention center there in Provo. We lose some of our local stuff, Crumbles outgrowing us and things like that. And we want our local community businesses that have conventions to host them here in our own county and bring in those dollars. And of course, that tax dollars, as you know, then we can reciprocate that throughout the county and projects. So we're excited about seeing what that might look like if we can do an expansion there in Provo with them. Other than that, those are the two main things that I wanted to touch on. There's not anything really big. The inland port in Spanish Fork is kind of a big thing right now that's hot in terms of, you know, an economic driver for Utah County that I think will be something that really gives a lot of good jobs and things in that industrial area. That's what Spanish Fork's planned for. So you can talk to some of your counterparts there in Spanish Fork as you run into them and get their opinions on their excitement. But having been there prior, I can tell you that it's a pretty exciting adventure for them to look at. So any question for me?
I did see that EDC Utah's already planned their breakfast in Utah County. So
good. Yeah. Well, like I say, we're really excited about that. I kind of liken it unto being in the chamber, and you can pay your membership every year and just not show up to the ribbon cuttings and all of the events, and that's what you're going to get out of it, just paying your membership. But if you participate and you're there, then, you know, we'll be on the map and we'll start getting some good looks from those that we need to.
So as far as what you see in Payson from the county, what do you see that the county can help Payson with in economic development?
Yeah, I think the main thing is that TTAB board, right? Any tourism opportunities or things that are related to that TTAB board. There's monies there, and you see that, you know, we just gave Provo $10 million for their airport. And that's exciting because that'll take that airport to an international. And so, you know, Brian can go to Provo and hop on a plane and be in Cancun a little later that day. Is a pretty cool idea. But so, and they had a pickleball regional complex that we gave a little bit of money to. And so Payson needs to always, and Brian's always good about this, so the rest of you in the room know we're constantly communicating about ideas and things like that. But when you have projects that could go in front of that TTAB board, let me know. And one of the members of that board needs to sponsor that project, and we'll get, we'll get somebody to take it up and take it in front of the board and see if we can get some of that funding back into Payson. That's the best, I think, opportunity for this group.
So could you send me that TTAP information again, the contacts? Because we have a couple of projects here in Payson we'd like to work on. One's the food hall downtown, so.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like there's so many projects that are what I call low hanging fruit that we forget that opportunity's there, right? As a city, and we should say, if we get some money to help you guys out with advertising and increasing and growing your event, that would be awesome, so yeah, I'll send that to you, Brian.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Commissioner Gordon? He's doing a great job. We like our county commissioners that can reach out to us and work with us, and it's a breath of fresh air. So any questions?
I still haven't installed the bat signal on the county building yet, but I'm working on that.
Hope it comes soon.
Yeah. Let me just say, I really appreciate all that you guys do. I've sat in most of your, chairs as business owner or, my city capacity. And I just love and appreciate all that Payson's doing. I was in my brother's Ace Hardware last week, and Brian came in as a patron shopping, and it's just fun to see. It's just fun to see the love and support that a local business owner gets from their community. I know that's happening in Payson. So kudos and great work, everyone.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yep. I'll hop off now. Have a good day.
Okay,
Take
thanks.
care.
Okay, next thing we want to talk about is Teresa has a lot of good ideas about shopping local and small businesses, and how we can help with small businesses, and what this committee could help do with that. And so I'm gonna turn the time over to her.
So I know the chamber's out there. And I know that when I've talked to the businesses, and I feel really bad, the ones that are here for 6 or 8 months and then they're out of business. And the reason why, people don't know they're here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I was wondering, if we could make it real simple for them to look it up, put all the businesses on Payson's website. But I've also wondered, so I did this 20 years ago. A little coffee store and me, we went to Salem and here, and we went and got our own financing, and then we printed our own books and we hung them on everybody's door. Everybody's business like tripled for 3 or 4 months because people got to know who these businesses were. I mean, it was just like they could open up, and it had every business. It didn't just have the ones that were in the chamber, or it wasn't specialty. If you paid for advertising this, you had a bigger, you didn't just get your line. But we've got to find out, we've got to figure out how to get it out there. And I know that another way, like people I like to see it. I see stuff on here, but I hate to see businesses go out of business when they've only been there 6 or 8 months, because we're not getting it out to our own people here. And I mean, those are 2 things I've thought of, but if there's a way, I mean, I know that we can't push one single business. That's why I say every business. And I think we'd have to send probably out a letter, because maybe some of the home businesses don't want to be on your website. I don't know why they wouldn't, but maybe there are some who wouldn't. The smaller businesses, like I said, I've been in business for 22 years, and I still get people in my store weekly. But, oh, did you just move here? No, I've been here my whole life. I'm amazed. And the thing is I have a storefront, so the people, like my little person I go to for my massages, she does it out of her house. Because she can't, well, there's not really a place to rent, but she, that's nice to know. And even when you were talking about adventure days, the marriage counselor got with Thor and what they're putting on this Saturday, they want to put out like for all the different medical things, not just doctors, but naturopathic doctors and even our chiropractors, because all of our chiropractors offer different things that we don't know. Like me, I was looking for a foot bath. So I called everyone, and Thor finally said, why don't you call this one? And I called and left a message, and he got back and says, yes, we offer that. And I thought, good, I don't have to go to Provo. I'm trying to get people to stay in Payson, but people don't know what's available. And that one right there is huge.
Yeah.
I don't know how we get that out there, because that's another thing. I think that's really going to take off. But it still comes down to getting it out. It has to get on here somewhere so that people can go on there and just go, I'm looking for an HVAC person. Because you're always seeing that. Who's a good HVAC person? I don't mind people doing that, but when they recommend people Spanish Fork or Pro or something, I have a problem with that. And I have a problem with people in the chamber who, when we're going out to dinner or lunch, we go to Spanish Fork. I mean, I'm tired of eating stuff, Mexican food just like everybody else, but I do it. I mean, I go to Ricky's trailer all the time, just because he supports Payson, I think, more than any other business like his. He's always there willing to help. I'm amazed. I have respect for that man, because he is giving back to the community. I think a lot of people and the smaller businesses, they want to give back, but it's really hard to give back when they're barely making it. They're surviving. And we've got to come up with ways to recognize the small businesses, because the big businesses, everybody knows the big businesses. We kind of cater to the big businesses. I'm thinking we need to cater a little bit more to the small businesses, because you know what? They're the ones who have people that come in that have other business ideas. But are we helping those smaller businesses succeed? Or are those small businesses going to say, I wouldn't come to Payson, I would go to Spanish, or I would go to Lehigh or Provo? You're going to get more help over there, or they're going to see you more. Smaller businesses tend to talk to other smaller businesses. The ones that are thinking about going into business are the very same thing. They're going to come and talk to the people around. Hey, how's business? Would you put a business here? We've got to make it so businesses want to be here. I mean, 20 years ago, we kind of pushed them all away. I watched it because I did all of their plans. Like, it was hundreds. And we did it to ourselves. Now we got to try and get those people back. But what I'm saying is, these smaller businesses, you have businesses that they've got their job, they've got their employees, and those employees are thinking, I want to do this and this. How do I even start to do that? You're talking about,
Innovation Center.
yeah, in the innovation center. This is how I feel, because when you do a business, you've already figured out what you're going to do. Your thing is trying to get people lined up so that they're going to come and support you. It still comes back to, how do we get our small businesses out there so people come to them instead of going. And I mean, he said it, Spanish Fork's getting everything. I've had several people that have been long-term clients of mine, but haven't seen you in here for a while. Well, this is, I can pretty much, okay, what's going on? Well, I go to Costco, and then I just do my other shopping at Macy's and stuff. So when I'm over there, I just go to the print shop. What? Or, my scrapbooks, that side of the store, they go to Hobby Lobby. And it's like, but you tell me, don't ever go out of business. So how do I stay in business when you're going to Spanish Fork and you're doing it to everybody else too? It's not, that's when they raise their hand, at city council the other day, I says, how many people do you go to Costco? And almost every one of them raised their hands. So where's all our tax base going to? And so those businesses are thriving. Ours are kind of just Exactly. And I don't want to lose businesses here.
Who runs the Utah Community Facebook page? Does anybody
I don't know
know?
who that-
Because there's
They
a
used to be-
lot of chatter on that, a lot, and I've got to where I kind of have been watching it and stuff, and I don't know if there's any way to start putting like some, like highlighting a business on that. Because it's more of the younger generation that I've noticed is on there, and they're the one that's commenting and asking and like, who do you call for HVAC? You know, I mean, that kind of stuff, and I don't know if there's some way of getting connected with them to like highlight some of these businesses a couple times a week or.
And not only that, but shutting down the negative,
Good.
because there's gotta be a way
The
to
way you
do
shut down the
it.
negatives, you don't say anything.
Oh, but when they start just,
Popeyes.
gets
Yeah.
killed.
they're,
Whoa.
they are.
Activated them and it's like, I know Lammy's no longer there.
Oh, isn't it?
Uh-uh. He texted me and told me about it. I don't know, did he talk to you about it?
Talk to the mayor.
To the mayor?
He gets some health issues.
Yeah.
Lanny's had some health concerns. His doctor basically told him that he better get away from the stress that was causing him some problems. So that's one of the reasons he left.
So how do we, I mean, that to me, I don't know what's going on there. I know one of the biggest problems is getting people to work for you. I mean, I have the same problem. Everybody has the same problem. But how do we get them to come here? It's not that they're not getting paid, because these people are making some pretty good money working at all these drive-ins and things like that. So it's not that. It still comes down to people are leaving to go to other cities to buy what they're buying.
I think maybe a couple of things, and the innovation center can help with this because more than just getting business started, but it's teaching how after you get the business started, help them with social media. I mean,
That's what I wanted to bring up, because so like I've tried to hire social media, and they want $2,500 a month. Oh, well, none of us can afford that.
right. So,
So it's, and this is what I think, I mean, you want to put these machines in there, but like I said, people who are going to do their business, they already know how to run the machines. They've already figured it out. They don't know how to get their information out there to know that people are doing it. Yes, they don't. Marketing is probably the weakest of, I took a lot of marketing classes, and you know what? I don't like to market, but I do. But I know that there's a lot more things that I could do marketing, but that is where people lack.
right.
And I think that is, like, when you talk about the innovation, it's like, people need to learn, because I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to go online. I don't know how to access, go in there and put, I want between 25 and 50. And it gives you, all those people and how you can send it out to them. I don't know how to do that. This is the kind of thing that people need for their businesses, not just my business.
Right. Well, that's what the Innovation Center is for, is the business resources to teach all those things, not just the startup, but once you're in business, how do you do all
Yeah.
those things? So that's part of what.
But how do we do that now? I mean, especially now that
Right.
things are slowing.
Just a thought on that. I don't know what all city resources are, and there's a lot of smart people in here, but I know from my business, I worked with some students from the University of Utah who had a master's degree program for business. And for me, at my weight loss center, how do we distinguish ourselves from other weight loss centers? And there's a lot of weight loss out there, online advertising, very competitive. And they did a pretty nice job because it was narrowly defined. Here's what we want your help on. And they weren't paid. I mean, they were just in it for a project. And they did a nice job of presenting kind of a roadmap on what they suggested. Some of it was pretty good. Some of it was,
A little out there.
well, because they just didn't know it as well for the time frame they had versus, some of you that have been around for years and years. So it may be worth looking at UVU because they do have a school of business and seeing some students interested in a narrowly defined project. What is it we want? And then, could it be done within a project time frame for a student? That may be worth looking at.
Yeah, because they do it over that Salem High School, or what is it? Yeah, but they only do like a couple a year.
Yeah.
I mean, and they really, like, I have actually used them.
Yeah.
My daughter did a video and she needed it. Like, that's not her forte,
Yeah.
but she put it all together and then she sent all these extra cuts to a kid over there. And he went in and he just should say, no, that's not one, and he would change things. And it was just, I mean, he was getting paid to do it, and and they don't usually get paid. But I do know, I've been over there for 3 or 4 years now, that they do have students that are like exceptional. Not as many as we would like, but it's like, if you go, when I went over there, they said, yeah, use this kid, he's really good. And I mean, charged her like $95. It was like nothing.
Right.
But, you know, when you get somebody that's already has a degree in that, you can't get it for $95 anymore, and people can't afford that. And I think that's what's killing their smaller businesses, because it still comes to the point, they don't even know who's here. That's when I talked to Robert about it, you know, how do we get our name out there and make it so the website's easy to look it up, just like, okay, I need an HVAC person, Payson, you know, .org or .gov, I don't remember, we had to change it, don't we? Yeah, so it's like, make it really simple, so that they can just go on there and go, oh, there's like 10 of these people. You know, and like I said, I'm surprised every week. And I've been in business for 22 years, and I'm on a main road. How do you not?
Well, maybe what I suggest then is we start small, because I mean, you're talking about planning for the whole city, that's gonna take lots and lots.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But maybe if anyone's interested, we could take a look at, I could ask, you know, my connection leads you to say, is there someone interested in helping a business here in Payson just get their name out there and what they're doing out there?
But what if we even, so got this smaller business together and offer them, somebody come in and teach them
Right.
how to do this? I mean, and maybe, you know, maybe it takes a month on a Thursday night, and they're there for 3 hours and they're learning how to do it themselves.
Like a marketing clinic.
Yes.
But they need to understand the needs here and what you've been doing,
Yes.
so they could assess it better. But yeah, that could be.
But I would think that the people, especially the smaller businesses, I think they would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because the city is trying to help them
Yeah.
with their business. And not only that, if even people looking like, oh, I didn't even know this was available. I don't have to look for a job in Spanish or Provo. I have the qualifications to do this. We're always looking. I'm always looking for employees.
Right.
It's just, that's it. And how do they know if they're qualified?
Right.
They're gonna go north.
Sure.
So,
I've seen a lot more posts from the cinema. Are you doing something different in the last few months?
My brother took it over.
yes, he
Yeah,
is.
There you go. Sometimes that's all you need,
He
right?
took it over about a year ago, but now he's kind of getting his feet underneath him, and so now he knows how to do it.
It's been very consistent, and the chamber's done the same thing. We hired a girl to handle all of our social media, and just the consistency. So if you want to get messages out, you've got to be consistent, and you've got to get it shared on all the community sites. So you must be doing a good job, because I keep seeing you everywhere.
Oh, that's good.
Well, and even if you had, you know, one person, but maybe 5 businesses or 6 businesses, or depending, that could be their full-time job, and they're just doing it every day. Just, you know, and you're paying them. I would love to pay somebody. I can't afford to pay somebody what? Or maybe-
$2,500 is crazy, but if you do a couple $100, I mean, if you find
Yeah.
someone that gets several businesses to
Right.
do for a couple
Yeah,
$100.
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And the thing is that's a marketing, and it's also you know, like a sales ad. Like my sales ads, every time I do one, you know, it's $400 to $600 for one ad. And you're just like, okay, how many people did that see? They tell me it's supposed to, 6,000 people are supposed to see it, and yet I put coupons, so I know how many people are coming in, and it's just like, okay, that one didn't work. That just cost me $100 per person,
Yeah.
you know, so it's when you start figuring it out. But I mean, I'm trying to come up with ideas, not just my business, but to help the small businesses, because I have talked to the smaller businesses.
So we do have a small business Saturday set up for November 25th. We're using not the pickleball, the
Food hall.
What is that? What is the building called?
Food hall.
The food hall.
Yeah, okay.
Utah tribes.
The Christensen building. If you wanna go back
Ah,
there.
tons of
Christensen.
So for these new people that don't know what it used to be, so the food hall building, so we've got, I think we're gonna have about 20 booths and 75% of them are gonna be tangible products. So it's not gonna be realtors and insurance and all that. Nothing against insurance,
But even at that, you have insurance guys that do specialty things.
yeah, but we want that Saturday to be Christmas shopping, so we want people to come in and buy from the local community, whoever, makes things or has physical
So
products.
you're gonna
and stuff.
keep it to Payson businesses?
yeah.
Cause I mean, like you have Spanish Fort does their really big Christmas thing, but of course it's like whoever wants to
And it's.
bring a booth and.
Yeah, there's only 20 booths, so we can be picky. We're not gonna have a lot of duplicates.
I like just like the crafty things, people that
Yeah.
do like the different things.
Yeah, there's so many
I will buy
home-based
those.
businesses. So that's one thing that we're trying to really get going and make something bigger, and we're trying to do more with all the downtown businesses, so we're gonna speak to all the businesses to have something going on that November 25th.
But it's still, they're storefronts. This is what we talk about. We talk about it all the time at city council, and we talk about it where you start small and then you move into a building.
Mhm.
Well, so we have to get it to a point where they can move out of their house, they're making enough business, they're kind of forced to move into that building. But at this point, they're not gonna get there until people know they're available and out there. I mean, I think about this,
So it's interesting with the axe throwing place. When I talked about it, Adventure Day with them, and we put it out there that a lot of people, I didn't know I was there.
Yeah.
It's been there for what, 8 months
Yeah.
or something like that. Nobody knew that it's there, so maybe a couple ideas is that when a new business, we get the businesses sign up every month, is in the newsletter, the Payson newsletter, here's the new business, here's what they do. And welcome, and just have it there so people can see, here's the new businesses, so it's not doing any specific business, but it's just letting everybody know, here's the new businesses that came to Payson this month, so at least they have an idea that they're here and they might have some interest, so anyway, that's an idea.
well, and I've wondered about, we talked about that, about even putting on that newsletter that we send out with the electric thing every month. About the businesses. I mean, we can't pick the businesses, but hey, and that's why I wanted to put them on the website and make it really easy, because there's some people out there that aren't very good at computers.
As far as the city, the business licenses are public record. We can
Right.
put a list and say we encourage you to shop local and put all business licenses.
Yeah, that's what I want, all businesses, not just chamber.
Here's
No,
the
and I-
challenge with business licenses, half the names of a business license are not the name of the business. that you know.
Yeah.
So
And I don't know
so
how
to
to-
see that list and say, JDK Associates.
So
opened up.
somebody's gonna
Who the
have
heck's
to-
JDK, I can't.
We'll
find
have
it.
to call.
So I have a couple thoughts on this. Number one, Teresa, I didn't know you had a business in Payson. I'm just, she's my cousin. I insure it. Teasing her. I
knew he was
frequent
teasing me.
there. But here's a thought. So reach out to the current existing business and do a little survey. What is your biggest thing with, what do you,
What do you
think
need, or what
we
is
could
it that
help
would
you
help
with?
you?
that would give us a baseline. Number one, is the innovation center, is existing business gonna be able to get resources
Oh,
from
yeah,
that?
Oh, yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
that's the big-
So it'd be kind of good way to establish communication, show that we're trying to help. And then you could kind of get a bunch of data to do stuff like that on the website or whatever. So even on the business licenses or on the Facebook, just say, do you own a business in Payson? Would you be willing to take this survey or something like that? That would give us. a
Because, and that
baseline
would,
of the
and
data.
so, yeah, and that would also give you an idea of what they're looking for.
Right, and how we could help.
But they need to know that we're here, because when I've talked to people they feel that we don't care about them because they're a
Right,
small business,
right.
and it makes me feel sad because, like,
Tell all those people to call the chamber.
well, so when I was on the chamber, I would go talk to them. I would just go talk to all these little businesses. And a lot of them just had the same thing to say, is I don't feel like Payson really appreciates us. And it's just like, well, I'm sorry, because
It probably isn't necessarily Payson City.
No, it's not
It's
Payson.
the community,
it's the community.
but then they probably
is.
don't know.
No.
Didn't even know you're here.
Yeah.
Like I said, yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Well, part of it is, Dave and I talked, Robert, I'll get to you. We've talked about this from the social media for the city even, is having good social media for the city and letting people, businesses know that we're here and that we want to help and that we.
And it's advertising for them.
And letting the citizens know about what the benefits are for supporting your local
Yeah, oh, yeah,
businesses.
we talked about
And that's
that.
part of the social
The tax
media that
base.
the city can do. So Robert, yeah, you had some.
Well, I just have the practical side of me is like gonna come out in this conversation because I think before you do any outreach and whatever, we have to clearly define what the capacity of the city is to help and to understand what businesses need. Because once you start expressing interest and saying, well, how can we help you? Then there's an expectation that there's going to be a lot of help. And what
We have to
capacity
Go to the
does
chamber.
the city have to do that? What capacity does the chamber have to do
We do
that?
have a
And
booth on our capacity.
what- And what roles do they play individually to support each other? Because it's gonna completely backfire if you go out and say, well, how can we help you? And there's no way to support that,
Yeah.
right? So I would just recommend that before anything happens here, that a clear understanding of capacity and what we're trying to accomplish, like what's the desired outcome of what all this outreach is going to be, is clearly defined, and who's going to do it, in what amount of time, and with what resources. Because there's not a lot. And that's just the
Well,
reality.
and that is what the chamber's there for. I mean, but
Right.
they would probably need more people. But if you get people, if they can see that there's, and I shouldn't say there's a benefit, but they have to see that. But if they could get help and their business increase tenfold, they're gonna for sure join the chamber, and they're gonna tell their next door neighbor, go join the chamber. This is what it did for me. And I know we have BNI. We still go. I mean, that's a great organization. It's a matter of you still just getting your name out there. But I understand what you're saying. To me, putting the names on the website, and it's just like, okay. And this is what the chamber wants to do, not the city. And it says, and here is the name of you or whoever is gonna take your calls. And this is what we're planning on doing.
See, and I think from our standpoint, I mean, my department is the one that handles the business licenses. I think it's not going to be a huge jump
no,
to create that list and to put it on our website. That's not a big ask. With an influx of, questions and saying, well, how do I get a hold of these people and how do I make these changes and stuff like that? That changes the dynamic of that a little bit. So those are the things that I'm talking about. But I think from a website standpoint, having information about what businesses are in the city is doable, definitely. Having educational materials to say, when you shop in the city, these are how your dollars get recirculated and recycled within the city. I think that's information that we can have on a city website because it's very broad, very understanding, very educational.
and you could put it on the newsletter that they sent out too.
Right.
Why not just add on that? I mean, even if you spent, 3 or 4 months putting that out there, because people are so unaware of the tax dollar. They don't even have a clue. They don't. Even really smart, rich people.
Somebody brought up city council that we got lots of sales tax dollars. Last week.
Yeah, I know.
We could maybe put something in the newsletter. The issue is the newsletter is for government purposes and it goes out to let people know what's going on in the city. And it's,
But it's still talking about tax dollars.
no, I understand. And we could put an article or we could put something, but there's not a lot of space. We just tend to help us expand that. But there's not a lot of space to put marketing stuff in there for the businesses. If we can get a list of business licenses, we can put, hey, here's
Go to this
the
website.
10 new businesses this month. We can try to put the word out there, but to try to get into marketing, I mean, my wife does marketing for a living, and I don't think she ever says, well, what can the city do? It takes dollars.
No, I just want to have a list. That's all I want the city to do. So that they
And
can
that's
go
easy.
look
We can
at it.
put the list,
Yeah,
just
because-
what Robert's saying, there's some
because the
things we can
chamber-
do.
Has to do the rest. I mean, that's what they're there for, is to take care of the businesses. You know, so
But in all reality, if I want an HVAC, I'll go to HVAC Payson and it will show me all the businesses and. So I know that there's a lot of businesses, probably more of the smaller ones that don't want to be recognized. You know, it's like, no, I'm good. Don't mess with that too. So I appreciate what you're saying, but I can. see
well,
that
that's why I
not here,
said
it's
you would
gonna-
have to ask them if they wanted to be on there, because there are some I'm sure that
Right,
don't.
right.
This was the thing, Miss Payson. So
Have,
I offered to print,
it might be the.
you know, because it's Miss Payson. And they go, no, we just want money. So I gave them $150 and they went to Spanish Fork and had them print it. And I have a real hard time with that one.
Yeah.
Because who got the credit for that? Not me.
Yeah.
I gave money. And I know he does it for free. I was willing to do it for free too. And it was just like, okay, there's something really wrong here. This is Miss Payson and we're going to Spanish Fork to do the printing. There's a problem. Who's in charge of that? It's awkward. Mayor? You need to take care of that.
I think one thing
Sure.
with the resources, if we get the Business Resource Center, because they'll have people there that can help the businesses. And I think that's a key for us to, because we got a year to get together and we can start working. How's this gonna really help the small business in Payson? And I think that'll give us some resources to help do that. So we've already got, UVU is gonna help and
Well-
there's lots of resources that we can bring together.
It's like you said, I mean, if we could get somebody from UVU or Utah, I don't care where they come from, and do literally like a seminar for like a month, maybe a Saturday or something, 2 or 3 hours, and everybody, all businesses are made aware of it, that they can come and learn how to market their business. Because it's been 15 years since I went to school. And I
Yeah.
forgot everything.
So we invite at least 400 people on our newsletter to come to a breakfast club every month to learn different topics every month. And many of them help with their marketing. And we get 15 to 25 people show up.
I know, I've been there quite a few times in the past.
So we are inviting people to come. And it really, I mean, it's the business's responsibility
Right.
to be successful, not ours. So we are here to be a resource if they need something with legislation or they don't know how to do marketing, who can I contact? We're not
Do
the
you
ones
have
to
that?
teach them. Yeah, we are building that list and gets better all the time. We're launching a new website. It's supposed to be today, but it probably isn't gonna happen today.
New old website.
Yeah,
right?
new old. So, and that website is gonna be much more professionally built for the businesses who are members of the
And
chamber.
more friendly.
More friendly, more user-friendly. It's gonna give them good profile. Link them back to their websites, which you can't believe how many of these businesses don't even have a website. So they're trying to market their company, they don't even have a website. You need a website
See,
in
I have
today's world
one.
to be successful.
And they were doing it when COVID hit over there in Salem. And they took mine down because they were making another one. And then when COVID hit and they just shut everything down.
Yeah, the
Like,
website.
there's no website
It's the
now.
business's responsibility to market themselves,
Yeah.
not the chamber,
No.
not the city. So the chamber, if you join the chamber, we will support you. We will teach you, we'll train you, we'll give you leads to help you be successful.
to people who do it
So, right,
at a reasonable cost.
right. It's just like Commissioner Gordon said, you know, you join an organization, don't do anything, you probably won't get anything out of it. So it's the same. with-
See, that would be great. Do we have those in our chamber? People who do web things?
We have members, and if they're not a member, then it's just really who you know, through really me. I'm the chamber, basically. So when they
Network for
call, whoever I know is who you get.
Because I would be telling everybody,
Yeah,
that person would become overwhelmed and then we'd have to have somebody else.
yeah, that's the goal.
So like Jim said, it's not the city's responsibility to make this business successful, but for economic development, small businesses are really the strength of a city, not these big businesses. It's hard to get those big businesses in. They're the small business are the strength of the city. So our responsibility is to be able to get, to me, is as economic development, is to have resources that we can give to people to help them be successful. But I think that's the way I strive for. And going back to what Robert says, is making sure we have the capacity for those resources, working with the chamber and with the city together to make that happen. So,
And going off what Ty said, our committee, the Business Retention Committee, is creating that survey. We're already working on it. Our goal was to get it out towards the end of July, August, and then have a city meeting with all businesses to come and kind of hash out their needs and wants. So we're pursuing that and working on that right now as a committee.
So is there a way to do that so people who aren't even in the chamber,
It's going to go out to all of
the people that have
He has a
business
list
licenses?
and it's what, how many?
660.
the
So
city,
that
yeah,
includes-
anybody
yeah,
get the
anybody
list in the
get-
city.
Yes, I mean, that's a
I
lot
have
of
the list
people, but
before.
there's probably a good portion of those people that are just the home base and they don't
Yeah.
want to even be.
Oh, well, it shows which one's home versus commercial.
And those would probably have to be called if they want to.
Well, I've got addresses. You're gonna have to either, I don't, you said you only need what, 3% or 300?
About 300 is an
300.
accurate survey, yeah.
Yeah, so as long as you get 300 replies, then the cheaper way to get the word out, if you get the replies, use 300 back, then there's no sense doing mailings, because mailings are pretty expensive, right?
And I think we have emails for all those businesses.
Well, the list does not,
I haven't provided email.
you gotta either call
Is
them.
there an email, Robert? Or did they just not put it on?
It's not on the public list that Marty sends to me.
So is there a way for him to get that? With the
Call
email?
it business.
Yeah.
Okay,
Janine may have done that. I think Janine has a pretty good list of emails.
I think our time's up. It's been good conversation, but that's what economic development is about, is thinking about things and making things happen. So thanks, Teresa, for bringing.
That
it
took
up.
a long time.
It's good
Well,
conversation.
it was a great conversation, so, and again, it's the key to our city is these small businesses. We want them, we want to help them, so. Anybody have anything else they want to bring up, or Mary, do you have anything?
Every sentence is calling me.
Oh, is that everybody's?
Yeah, yeah, it's the city. It's probably garbage.
Yeah, they take their
Oh,
lives
that's
up to the thing for free.
No, I would just ask one favor. If I could get a list of the businesses for the city, that'd be great.
I can email you my list. I've kind of cleaned up what Marty sends me
Oh,
because
that's good. Some of
some
them
of them
quit.
are replicated
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of beer
Business
license.
life,
and
yeah.
alcohol. So I've cleaned that out and she sends me an update every month.
Well, maybe if you can help me, Jim, it's just give me an idea which businesses may be interested in partnering with students for internships. you
Me,
know. Great.
like I said, I've tried it 3 times over there, but like if COVID hit, they were almost done with me. I was like, are you kidding me?
The chambers and other. Okay. And do you have a card?
And Jim, I don't know if you have this on your website or at least a link to it, but I mean, like, I just did a quick search of the Small Business Development Center. And they're having an online marketing fundamentals class. It's a webinar that's free.
There's all kinds
A
of.
business essentials training webinar that's free.
And these would be
Online.
awesome on,
Facebook and Instagram ads class that's free. over
Where is this
Zoom.
at?
So just the small business.
Yeah, and
development. So
that-
even
that's-
just having like a link to that to
Yeah.
say, You know, these are some resources that are available to you for free.
And those are the same things they'll be bringing down here because they're gonna be part of our business resource center.
We'll
So
have
we'll have
several
that.
resources like that on the new site and where it'll just be a go-to.
But I mean, just speaking to the things that we've
Right,
talked about.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
The information is available, it's just distribution.
Mhm.
right.
That's the challenge.
Finding ways to distribute information is the biggest challenge.
See, and I didn't even know.
And if a survey is done, then at the end, you have a list of those resources.
And then part of it's getting the apathy of some business owners to.
Yeah.
Do
Do
something.
something.
Okay, great discussion. Thanks, everybody. Next time we'll report on calls and our committees. So, but that was a great discussion. Thanks, Teresa.
Sorry, it took off the time.
No, that's,
When you're on the tractor, you have many, hours to think.
That's right.
You're like on there from 10 to 10.
Keep that Coke away from